Hello everybody, it's Finn here again. Let's carry on with my journey. The year is 2016 and I'm sectioned at St. Charles Hospital. One of the nurses, Farmida, this Muslim Indian woman, told me that I need to be honest about what happened to me. And because of her advice, I talked to this early psychosis prevention team member. And I told him that maybe I was going a little bit crazy, thinking that the CCTV cameras were following me, and that maybe I wasn't going to be poisoned like I thought, like Litvinenko was poisoned. And after that, started my discharge process. My doctor, Neela Mullen, told me that nobody would want to have me stay at their place and nobody would let me cut their hair again. And that the family that I was going to stay with, Jana's family, that they would need to be part of the ward round and be told about my condition. I was out of the hospital for a couple of days, and around that time I went to a chapel near the hospital, and there were candles there, and I lit up several candles and I prayed for the whole world, and I felt like someone was following me. I was staying at Jana's house in North London, and I was still paranoid and delusional, and I was starting to vacuum the house, and then the police was outside the door, and they told me that a nurse, Fatima, from St. Charles Hospital wanted me to come back to the hospital. And they weren't going to take me there, but I was going to go there by myself. I went back to St. Charles Hospital and I was sectioned again. And I was devastated, and I thought I just have to get out of this situation one way or another. And one of the ways of getting out of my situation was asking for a hospital transfer to Finland. So that's what I requested next. My psychiatrist, Dr. Mullen, was in contact with my family in Finland, and she suggested that flying was too stressful for me, so I should be taken there by car and by ferries. And my family told her that it would take 3 days to get me to Finland by driving there, that flying would take 3 hours. And I also remember she had a meeting with me where she told me that I would need medication to calm my nerves, like benzos. So eventually the day came that I was going to go to Finland with my hospital transfer. They didn't agree with my mom just picking me up. They had to send me with 2 nurses, Farmida, the Indian Muslim lady, and Max, this Chilean male nurse who always acted more like a prison guard than a nurse. And I was slightly nervous about leaving for Finland because I didn't know what to expect, but I was hopeful. The plan was to fly through Stockholm, Arlanda, to Turku in the west coast of Finland, and to be seen there with, like, my family was preparing to visit me in Turku and to take me to a hospital in Turku for psychiatric evaluation. Everything went as planned until we got to Arlanda with Max and Farmida. And then in the bus, this thing towards the airplane, I spoke about prayer with Farmida, and I said that ultimately everything is in God's hands, and she told me that Muslims say inshallah, which means that, like, you leave it up to Allah, you leave it up to God. So we get on the plane that in Arlanda that was going to take us from Stockholm to Turku. And then something went wrong and the plane broke. Part of we could see where we were sitting, that part of the wing like just fell off, and the plane went back to Arlanda. While we were in the plane, me and Farmida, we held hands. It was a really beautiful moment. Like, I could feel that she was praying and I was praying. Max was sitting a little bit further away from us. And when we got back to Arlanda, he told us that he pooped his pants a little bit because he was so terrified. So now we're at Arlanda Airport with my psychiatric nurses, and we went to this Scandinavian Airlines service desk, and I was like, I'm a psychiatric patient, and I was meant to go to Turku, but now we don't know how we're going to get back to Finland. Can I use your phone? And the service desk person immediately handed us a phone, and I got to call my family and the hospital in Turku, and they told us that we were going to fly to Tampere instead. Tampere is like about 200 kilometers away from Turku. And my brother and sister and my mom, they were all in Turku waiting for me. And then in the phone, they told me that there was going to be a police car in Finland to pick me up from the airport. And Farmida got really upset about it, and she told them, no, there's no way you take Finn on a police car. Like, you're going to send her an ambulance. Like, there's no way you're going to humiliate her like that. And then Farmida got on the phone with the hospital, and she told them that we were stuck in Arlanda, and what should we do? And the hospital told her that they could leave me in Arlanda in Sweden, that they wouldn't have to take me to Finland. And Farmida got really upset about that, and she said, there's no way we're going to leave her in Sweden, there's no way we're going to leave her here in Stockholm, we're going to take her to Finland. So in my next video, I will tell more about my hospital transfer adventure. Stay tuned.